We're about truth. Wisdom. Empowerment. Urban Family Talk.
Some really interesting pieces, and we'll have to do that on another day. We'll talk about the Second Amendment regularly, obviously, where there have been some writers over at National Review, especially Tim Cook. He has written some amazing pieces over there about what it would actually look like if Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and all these people, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, all of these Democrats who want gun confiscation to occur in America, what that would actually look like. And to briefly describe it, because we'll go into more detail on another occasion, it really means a 20-year campaign where they would do a media campaign to try to convince Americans that the Second Amendment's really a horrible idea. Even after that, they would have to then, because most of them would be thrown out of office. At each time they were up for election, they would be unelected because, gun control is a hugely unpopular issue with Democrats, with Republicans, and with people who are politically agnostic. And then they would have to recall the soldiers from all over the world and assign those soldiers to different states in the country to begin to confiscate the firearms. And those soldiers, then you'd have a mass attrition from the military because a ton of the soldiers would simply refuse to do it because they would be disarming their friends, relatives, coworkers, neighbors, people they grew up with in high school, whatever. Then, once you finally have your final group of people who are willing to enact the actual confiscation, you'd have about 20% of the people who would simply say, here are my firearms. I don't want to be outside of the law. Take them. Then you'd have a huge number. They don't actually know what percentage, but it's a huge number in the multiple millions, multiple tens of millions of people who would simply hunker down and start barricading themselves in, and they would prepare to defend their private property with firearms to prevent gun confiscation. So basically, it would be a civil war. That's what the Democrats are flirting around with when they talk about ending the Second Amendment, confiscating guns, and infringing upon our rights as human beings to defend ourselves. It's the most nonsensical topic they could ever bring up, besides the fact that they are so rabidly pro-abortion, and yet they still dance around with it every single election cycle. It's ridiculous. Nobody wants a civil war. Nobody wants to be shooting their neighbors or standing up to governing authorities over owning firearms. But that's what they want to do. That's the conversation they want to have. Instead of talking about Hillary's emails, because 2,000 fresh ones are out there via WikiLeaks.
Urban, revitalizing the spirit. Family, restoring our community. Urban Family Talk.